The confession of Watara is confessing of what? Yes, or can the bunny? Say now almost Bibian Corso or Cote d'Ivoire. But say dear, baby, a corner. A tresse Kuno, a baby, and I say Kusu there, and ya post me back home. When a name of Behrusua and Sana almost with your ayajuma. Now, I say, yeah, can't say a be before one more dear Nimukainoa. They are only political head, but they are not leaders. Omunye leaders so. Omuni adwin biara efa oman no e de ahye won sa no. For 15 good years. One to me sa. Now won sa ne encrophobia omon pe before ye. E kon na frena. Said the bear on Bocontia, Burkina Faso. Now, Ubia Bibinibia tis asking where any day. Now, send your tino monka and cosa. Oh, now, one more actually we are. A faina. Bobeka say, we are sorry now. We are sorry for what? The 15 years now, we need our way. And then I'm because I am in Tiasio. Mr. Yanko Niancochi and Sembia Oka. I Rahusempa, Yanko Niancochi.
A national broadcast was announced. The networks cleared their programming. Cell towers in major cities were reinforced. Thousands flooded cafes, homes, markets, wherever there was a screen. Then the screen went black and faded into an image no one thought they'd ever see again. Alisan Watara, seated, composed, wearing a simple gray jacket, no presidential sash, no flags, just a microphone. The broadcast had no title, no watermark, no state logo. It was a confession. I speak today not as a president, but as a son of this soil who lost his way. The room fell silent. I believed I was doing what was necessary. I believed that partnership with the West would bring prosperity. But in truth, I allowed Ivory Coast to become compliant to foreign interests. We didn't grow. We were managed. And I helped them do it. There were no tears, no dramatic gestures, just an unraveling of decades of diplomatic deception. He confirmed secret mining contracts signed without public knowledge, pressure from Western embassies to jail opposition figures. The silent renewal of French military access in exchange for debt forgiveness. The marginalization of Pan-African activists under direct instruction from European intelligence. But perhaps the most powerful line came near the end. We did not fight for independence to become administrators of a foreign-designed script. To the youth of Africa, break the script. To my generation, we failed you. But you must not fail yourselves. And with that, the screen went black again. No anthem, no military salute, just silence. But this time, it was a silence of understanding. Across West Africa, tears flowed. Not for Ouattara, but for what had been stolen in the name of development and diplomacy. In Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, soldiers stopped training to watch. In France, the Quai d'Orsay scrambled to draft a response. One that wouldn't sound like an indictment of their entire policy in Francophone Africa. In Abidjan, General Doumbia stood alone, watching from a remote room. He didn't cheer, he didn't speak, he simply nodded. The general had not asked for a performance. He had asked for the truth, and he got it. From the last man anyone thought would give it. It was never just about one man, it was about all of them. Alisan Watara's public confession echoed far beyond Ivory Coast. In Senegal, students gathered at the gates of parliament holding signs. If Ouattara could admit it, so can Macky. In Gabon, old state contracts were leaked by anonymous civil servants. In Chad, a military colonel posted a single word online, respect. And in the heart of the continent, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, a Pan-African analyst declared on live radio, for the first time in post-independence history, a former leader of a francophone African state admitted that sovereignty was an illusion, and he did it on camera, voluntarily. It wasn't just historic, it was dangerous for those who still served the same interests. At the African Union, a scheduled summit was suddenly disrupted, leaders argued. Some praised Doumbia's stability through truth approach. Others, still clinging to French patronage, warned that it set a dangerous precedent. But the real conversation wasn't happening in marble halls. It was happening in classrooms, mosques, churches, and refugee camps. Mothers told their children, that man finally spoke what we already knew. University professors updated their lectures. Political podcasts exploded in popularity. A new phrase began trending across African social platforms. Even African diaspora communities in Paris, Brussels, and Montreal began organizing screenings of the speech, followed by roundtable debates. But for General Doumbia, there was no celebration.
The confession no wutie ne brofo nti ma me nka ne twi osimra o sha ase se obekasa no ye de back akasamu ba ko pe ne si na nimu sani anka previous ayi okasa na bodyguards atwa ne ho ahia ne nkrofo atwa ne ho ahia no wankasa saa biem na wade esi na ne wo hase kasa ya ne se waye o ma ne bone enti na unnim se ne awo ye no wo ye o ma ne bone for 15 years. Now, I'm a what dream was say, oh, how mine. Now, wait, a hypocrisy. So, Yanchi Wanka, on yes, our convention will. And of course, be before leaders, no, or more high. And can it draw back to us? And anka ya chira won se afede ya dwemu da ho anka o munya saa o na papa we ekwan bia so senka ababa to so a obi entu no because omo ba na omo aboabo sika ni nyina no de omo de yese on de beto abanko a not for the benefit of the nation. They enrich themselves. They are wicked, selfish, self-centered. Say, what you want ya? You know what Busa said. Do they have conscience? Omo ntibua. Enti ya na omo dwen se nipa bi o ha omo hunu amane. For 15 years. Ubebu sanse nti otumi kwa kura bi ase a baabi fo kura no omunya nsuo no na uwomom ani abrofuna ya dwen. Now I said it yesterday that the warship sending to Ivory Coast will not mean anything. But they're coming to fight against the Ivorians or to protect Ivorians. No, they were there to protect their interest. Now, Moka said, before they did so, after na all cancer, he has not helped the nation to grow. But not ordering said the oil a bebua. This man is a liar. Now, one crop for money, FM no one. na gold a yebetu no o mamu koku a ombeye no na wo ne abrofo na ya adwen na o maton fofofo na enkrofo a wo mamu no ehuna mane na wankasa wo ba Ibrahim Traore can be your son. And this young man is proven beyond doubt. Now we want sa nkrofo we aya adwen say every coast emeye platform a ombe gina so arechi Burkina Faso na ka se nyame wada o ka se nyame wada ya chewa afi na o ka se waye boni atia oman ni nyina but the radius say now the soldiers are so wise. They don't make coup through broadly and through that wickedness. They just overthrown, and fix you at a certain corner. Now, if you watch it, baby, how this can you know go here? Also, what do you money more? He said he has failed the nation. Na onim so a failure man. Na onim so a failure man. And some say I'm tiana me yano. When you da ho pa wo ya de, yes so mu afi na wo kan say. Also a failure man. It is true a failure man. Na the convention anka abolition it went across the whole world and especially Africa. Now obia person obeti. All the Africans were ready to hear about this successful coup. Because now he was not only fighting against Ibrahim Traore, but this man became a betrayer of the whole Africa. Because baby I no. And let this sound warning against any nation that will be used as a platform to fight against Ibrahim Traore. We are sir, we are singing Narabecho when near Babahel. At the time this Ibrahim Traore went to Russia, at the same time this man went to France. To do what? To brand against Ibrahim Traore. Obia oya de papa no. Now wako enkrofo mo bu kwasia. I don't know, because his wife is a white lady. And this man on say we be using black man to fight, to betray his own brother black man. I thank God Africa is out from this sickness. Time will tell. Time will tell. Mejidi pa say Africa free say arewe. And this is the time for Africa to come as one body, to unite as one body, and fight against the common enemy. Enough is enough. Enkosi daben na obi ebe dua koko no obi be dua na ebe start say sukura na bi wa mfie num na oti koko no a na abrofo na omo twadie no omo na eka kire say koko no ye be ma mutaku ana asempo a yeni a ye wo ye gold no Jesus where market because a gold no ye to say, because it sounds as if we doesn't vary what we have. Gold ni anima de kro. And a woman G, no, dear ye, not your circle, woman change say, but Bobby Sia. No one catch us here, Bambi. Now, the idea, Mamon, when a year children say, Montraha. Enti adwin ni atirim afede ankrofobia omodwen no omo asori na all kan in some way no mamefo ne papafo a ewo Ivory Coast asmo kan omo kan say the convention no is not a new thing nsem a all kan no nya bibi foforo yenim. You see how serious is it? Yenim nya bibi fufro no ka kire. Na wa how man na che. 15 years wo ya na akura no say okoyi a wagura level 400 wagura level 200. 15 years no we secondary school call ayi. And consider ben African leaders mubemu nipa tima enu mobo. When are you going to have compassion for your people? When are you going to care? Now we have a perfect example. Just closer to you at Burkina Faso. When we talk about visioneer, we can see in this young man a man who has passion, compassion, a man who diligent, who is serious, fearless, bold, courage. Brian Traore there, why ye bibia? Now, me can say it's God gift. Why a chedia ma Africa nyina. Abraham Traore is a gift from God for Africa. And such a leader Africa has been crying for. Such a leader Africa has been calling for. We have seen all the qualities of leader in this young man. Yahunu niema papa ye kaso obi din kanya ewo abrantie mu. So now you should forget about your political affiliation, you should forget about your political experience and your PAD and what DDD. And now say oye bibi na ankoyi a won crofo betin wo mon sachiro say look at this young man. Enti ya the radiasi obian kan se kumra Africa because enkane no na boku so a de na eyeboja sem ani atotro sem wa na sojafo ne bi ye na nipa nyini o sese wo mo sua de kuza akoso wo Africa nyina no ye nti se moja ka gunum ne sa ne manema bi. Now cool I become very cool. And nunti na ma yenom bi say no yehunu se e kwan we betumi aboa Africa. Now, don't think your so-called democracy have power to withstand against coup. Now, if you are doing the right thing, you will not dream about coup. But if you are corrupt, have it in your mind that coup is just ahead of you. Coup is just closer. Now, you can't escape. They say we are a leader of Africa. You can't. Yemfania ekoso Ivory Coast enya adisua kese. It's alleged. Say, or can bonny. Now say, you're no quarry, dear. Any a be before I did come for my bon, Papa. You don't learn. The same thing is going on in this nation. And from Swa MPP for a year and no NDC for a year. And from Swa more year and no more year. So I want you, when you go on your knees, pray for these countries, especially where we have heard about the coup. Just cruiser, we share the same border. Because what we don't want to see is shelling blood. No, we don't want to see that. But say ye cool na mo chi trimodin for no na pedan kitua bi na mo de na hyem mamo mo no na on kire ba bi a wode sika na agu on kire boni a wa ye ne kwan a ye be fa so e be restore sa niema we nyina ene me bu be we yo na politicians much last year. Na me de masema bawie empanimfo se eja to boy gisemu a na wasensuo asi wodi ho eja to nyonko boy gisemu a. So what is happening around, West Africa, Ghana should not take it for granted. Ghana should not take it for granted. Ye mompire se ku mra Ghana. Ba ku no anani na enam. Ku no anani na enam. Ye ade yie di a ku bi emma. Asebo anye ne yie. Na mo ka say power is corrupt. Nti ye saka tumi dia ene ye tumi na ye won ye de baya ne ye pe dia ene na nye obi ne kuma antwio. Nye obi ne kuma antwi. Africa be sorry. Africa be meye frankaso. Africa be che wiase nyina say you need Diabasi. Africa is not under a curse. We are blessed than any continent in this world. Our problem is not poverty, but our problem is leadership. Enti se ye wontiamu bi ye wo mpa ye bi ba ye bo mpa ye se awrade ma ya dikanfo a omhuru nipa mobo adikanfo a they will think as a black man na omba drinks o ye bibini enti se amane bi ba The Bible says Moses suffered affliction of his people. Oni ne nkrofo ne hunu amane ekom di oman no ebedi no nya se ekom di oman no na ono no akwa gina baabi na Africa se omo opposition a ana omo ni ema boni ya ekoso. If they are in opposition, they have that eyes. They have eyes to see. Ability, power is given to them. Then the power corrupts them. Now, I think, almost you bibi papa biya. They drone there. Say they are done. Say na yeah. We do jaha. Mo ane shani chi. Eradin ka. Bye bye.